Hey YouTube, Silenceddeath here with Airsoft Team OSMD. I'm outside today. It is late November, so it's starting to get cold, but I figure the lighting's a lot better out here, so I'll just do a video out here. I prefer doing videos outside versus inside, but so that's what I'm doing. Today I've got my MOD24. This is going to be an update video of what I've done to it. Sadly, I did not get out to field the rifle last Sunday like I would have liked to. There was a game at my local field, but I didn't get a chance to get out. The main reason is because I modified the hop-up bucking to accommodate an R-hop for this gun, and I actually damaged an air seal component of the VSR-10 bucking. So I should have another one coming Thursday, and I'm just gonna, for right now, I'm not gonna install an R-hop. We never modified a VSR-10 bucking to accommodate a flat hop mod, but if you know what I'm talking about, then that's great. If not, I mean, you can do your own research on the R-hop and flat hop mods. Anyway, you have to file off the internal mound for your VSR-10 bucking, and when I did that, I accidentally filed a tiny bit of a part I shouldn't have, which is right next to where the mound was on the inside of the bucking, and it turns out that that is used for air seal for the BB, and now my gun has basically no compression. So at least now I know, but live and learn. So today I'm going to go over I'm going to disassemble the gun. I'm going to go over everything that I've done to it since the last video, if I can remember. Starting out, I filed two places. If you pull the bolt back and you kind of angle it down a little bit, it rubs against the back of the stock just a little bit, and it leaves a little black mark. So I filed down the stock itself just a little bit. I also filed underneath, I don't know if you can see right there, that little like fin that sticks out. I filed that down a little bit, so now it doesn't touch. It didn't really affect the functionality of the gun, it just was kind of rubbing, and I'm kind of a perfectionist. So let me flip the gun over here so I can get in frame a little easier. If you notice, I picked up a Harris style bipod mount for this gun because it has a lug. It has 3 lugs, one in the rear, one for the sling mount, and one for a bipod. Basically, I had to buy this. This is the UTG, or the Leapers, I forget what it's called, Sling Swivel mount, I think, or something like that. Basically, it goes on I mean, you can look it up, but basically this piece right here goes on the lug. Then you slide on the rail piece, and then this larger kind of dial-like thing screws in and holds it in. Problem was the lug was too big. It was too big in diameter, so when I tried to put this first piece on, it wouldn't go. So I had to file the lug down quite a bit. And that was a pain because it's rounded, so trying to get a file all the way around to eventually get it on was a bitch, to say the least. Anyway, so I got it. Now, I mean, it's pretty secure, so I could put on a bipod if I wanted to. The gun is really well balanced even with the bipod on, so I probably will run a bipod. Just because it makes your shots so much more accurate, and it reduces the amount of fatigue on your hands. So, I mean, that's kind of a minor modification. It did require modding, though, for this gun, so be aware. The purpose of this video is really to tell anyone who's going to buy this gun what to look out for. That's one of them. You're going to have to file that lug to get a bipod to fit, which is kind of annoying. But regardless, it had to be done. Alright, now, something I want to get into here is, if you haven't noticed, I have a Velcro strap, basically, that keeps the barrel tethered down. It's just one of these things. They're pretty easy to find, and if you haven't noticed, the barrel is electrical taped. Basically I did that because the barrel was originally free floated, which means that it didn't touch the stock at any point. It only touched the stock at the receiver, which is great because for real guns that's necessary. But for this gun, since it's airsoft, you don't really need a free floated barrel, especially from a bolt action rifle, because when you put this on a bipod, it's not going to push the barrel up. Unlike an AR-15, if you put, and it doesn't have a very secure rail system, free float rail system, if you put a bipod underneath, it'll actually lift the receiver up. The handguards in the barrel, it'll lift it up. It'll change your point of impact. So free floating doesn't really apply to this. You don't need it. The reason why I decided to change something was the barrel would wobble left and right and up and down. Now, some people will argue that if you don't mess with it, it'll do the same thing every time, but it was too much play for me. It moved left and right and up and down. It just wobbled all over the place. So I took a certain amount of electrical tape until it met the diameter of the stock itself, and then I put that tether on there, or this Velcro strap to hold it down. I still haven't gotten a chance to test it because my bucking, like I said, was damaged, so that should come either Thursday or Friday, probably Friday, and I'll get a video out Sunday then, because I have off work then, but that's very necessary, I'm sure. One more modification I did so far was I did long range barrel mod it, which is you put set screws in that push the barrel down, but I've decided that I'm going to go with a suppressor instead. So I ordered a 20mm positive, I guess it's a VSR-10 threading with a 14mm counterclockwise thread for a regular suppressor barrel extension for airsoft. The problem is you can't have the barrel bent down, it's got to be centered, so I had to take out the set screws. That's alright though. I put in barrel spacers. I already had one barrel spacer a third of the length down from the hop-up unit, but I put another one closer to the end, so now when you push the barrel, I don't know if you can see, it rebounds like right away, so there's not going to be any vibration that's going to affect your shots. So but that's the easy part. The part that's going to be difficult is this threading on this outer barrel is not common. It's too small. It's 19mm I measured, and the one that I ordered is 20mm, so it's not going to fit. It's not going to thread in. So what I have to do is actually file the adapter itself when I get it, file off all the threads, and then file it about 1/2 millimeter all the way around, and then it should just slide right in. Might even have to hammer it in maybe, and then I'm gonna drill 2 holes, or 2 little like dimples in the thread adapter itself, so it stays in, and then I'm gonna put on my suppressor, test accuracy, ensure that the BB doesn't hit the suppressor, and then I might JB weld it in. I'm not sure yet, but so that's another modification I'm gonna do. But you have to be aware that if you want to put a suppressor on it, if you're gonna buy this gun, nothing's available right now, so you're gonna have to do a do-it-yourself mod. So pretty much that covers everything that I've done externally. So I'm gonna disassemble the gun right now. Actually, scratch that. That's untrue. I did modify the magazine just a little bit. I filed down the. There was kind of a point on the magazine follower, which I felt it was making the BBs fall off. So I just flattened that out a little bit. Nothing really major. Anyway, so disassembly of this gun's actually pretty simple. You take a 3mm Allen key or wrench, and there's the 2 screws there. When you first get the gun, you'll install it by adjusting these screws in. You got to be careful though, you can't over tighten them or the gun will not function. I found out that you just want them loosely, just barely tight at all. Just like when you're screwing in a screw, you can feel there's no resistance. Once you feel resistance, you stop, and you do it evenly. If you tighten the one in the front too much, it'll push up against the cylinder. If you tighten the one in the back, it won't feed, and I'm sure they're like interchangeable as well. So you just got to be careful about that. Long one obviously goes in the back, short one goes in the front. Oh, and I also filled in the hollow spots with just paper towel because I don't have foam right now. But you always want to fill in any spaces you got just kind of sitting around, because any open space makes vibration, which translates to noise. Because all sound is just a vibration through material. So you want to make sure that it's kind of filled with something. So that's what I did there. And I also put it in the back of the stock. Now when you get to the action, it's actually quite simple to disassemble. You're going to have to unscrew these two screws to get to the pop-up unit. It really is simple. It's not rocket science, and there's really nothing you can screw up here. You just got to make sure that you don't lose any parts. Now actually, I'm not disassembling this gun, so I'm not actually going to take it down to the hop-up unit. The only reason I'm disassembling it right now is if you can see in there, you can see that the hop-up unit isn't centered in my hole there, so that's all I'm actually doing. But if you want to take it down more, you take off your scope, and there's a set screw, the farthest front set screw you unscrew, and then the entire outer barrel will just unscrew. Your hop-up unit will come out. Actually, I think I'm going to actually do that right now. I don't know if I can, yeah. I'm just gonna do it right now, just because I actually want to. All right, now it's a 2mm Allen key to undo the top one. There's 4 that hold on this rail. You only have to undo the one, and you don't have to undo it all the way, because what it does is it pushes on the threads. Actually, I undid it all the way, but anyway. And then this is just a positive thread that holds the outer barrel on. There's one more important point I want to make about this gun, and it's the most important. It has to do with the cylinder head of this gun, and that's why I forgot this is the whole reason why I'm disassembling the gun, is to show potential buyers this problem. This cylinder head is not the stock cylinder head. Let me make sure I get this in frame. This cylinder head is a standard L96 cylinder head. And it fits just fine because this is APS-2 compatible cylinder. Now the problem with this, or the problem with the one that I had, was if you look, you can see that is, hang on, let me make sure it stays in focus. It's very like tapered there. It's not, there's a lot of material there that pushes on the BB. The one that came with it, it was very, very sharp. Now the problem with having a cylinder head that's very sharp, the nozzle actually will stab the BBs and chip them. And I've actually, I was wondering why I was getting flyers every now and again that would go straight up or left or right, and what actually ended up happening was the one that came stock on it was very sharp, and it was stabbing the BBs. Because you have to remember, this magazine is double stack, which means that the BBs are actually a little bit left or a little bit right. They're not perfectly center. So when the nozzle comes forward, it's actually pushing the side of the BB, not the front. And what ends up happening then is it chips the side, or the center of the BB actually. And it can actually, if you push the bolt forward really fast, it'll actually take a chunk out of the BB. And I've actually seen crushed BBs inside actually debris from crushed BBs was all over my cylinder. So Modify really fucked up that, because it's so sharp that it just completely screwed the BBs up. So if anyone from wherever they made it, Modify, I guess it's in Taiwan, if they're watching this video, they need to fix that like ASAP, because that will not be good. Now, I will give them this. The cylinder head that came stock got a perfect air seal. And I'll demonstrate right now. You can see there's the spring. As I cock the bolt back, there's the piston. You're looking at the piston right now. If I put my finger over the nozzle, if it's a perfect air seal, when I pull the trigger, you should see the piston stop, which you do. There's the piston. And as I let the air go, the piston goes forward, which means that this system is getting a perfect air seal. I've done the same test with my AEGs. I mean, it's the same way you test for compression. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is when I first put this cylinder head on, I had barely any compression because air was leaking out. An O-ring came on the stock cylinder head, and I took that O-ring off and put it on this, and now it's fine. But if anyone's going to buy this gun, I highly recommend that you get a nozzle like this that's not going to be very sharp. I'm yet to test it, but I know that my groups will drastically decrease because this is a lot. First off, it's brass, so it's self-lubricating metal, so it's going to be a lot easier on it. And second, it's not sharp. I mean, if I had the other one, it's inside right now, it literally looks like the blade of a knife. And if you actually like go like this on your finger, it almost cuts you. I mean, it's ridiculous how sharp it is, and you can't file it or it won't feed. So that is very important. I'm glad I figured it out, because if you don't do that, you're just going to get horrible inconsistencies because the BBs will get broken. Alright, so now if you want to take the hop-up unit out, literally it just slides right out. There's my barrel spacers. One was electrical tape, one was painter's tape. It's really self-explanatory right there. I'm not going to go in detail for that. Now, all I want to do now is I'm going to put it right back together for you guys. I just wanted to make sure that everything was lined up for when my bucking comes. Because I was adjusting hop. I forget where I put it. This is what I use to adjust my hop up. It's a thumb screw, 1/4 inch threads. It goes in the top and it pushes down on my hop up arm. I wanted to make sure that everything was centered, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Make sure everything's centered when I screw it back in. Actually, I think I'm going to screw it in right now. Never tried this before, but you want to make sure that you do things in the same order that you took them off. First thing, you want to screw the outer barrel back in. You want to line up the hole that's right there, or just try and get it straight. It shouldn't be that hard. I can see the threads in that middle hole there. And then once you do that, you just make sure that this is where the magazine catch, or the magazine release grips in, so you want to make sure that that's all aligned properly there. And then line up everything else. And then just screw them back in. I'm afraid that this front one isn't going to screw in right, but we'll see. It doesn't have to be super tight. Just the reason why I did that was because I tried to screw this in earlier and it wasn't centered. Now it's centered. I don't know if you can see in there. That's the hop-up arm right there, that black thing. You got to make sure that for this top dead center mod that it's gonna actually get in there. So this is all trial and error stuff you got to figure out yourself. You also want to make sure that the magazine seats in there correctly. As long as it clicks in, it's going to feed right, so that's good. So this is just stuff you want to check as you're going. Don't want to forget this screw. This keeps the barrel from moving as much or from accidentally unscrewing. Again, this is a 2mm Allen key. Allen screw. Make sure that's somewhat tight. You don't want to strip these out because that would suck. I do have extractor bits, so I'm not worried about if I would ever strip one of these screws. And this one isn't absolutely necessary, but you still want to make sure you don't actually lose all the stuff or strip it or completely just F yourself. So now you just set the action in, and then I will normally start with the back screw. It doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you don't, like I said, over tighten them unevenly, because it will not feed correctly. So again, there's no bucking in this gun right now, but that's because there really doesn't need to be, because I don't have one. Oh shit, I think I just did that backwards. Oh god, this is embarrassing. Large one goes in the back. Small one goes in the front. I apologize. I normally don't do videos like this where I just work on guns. If my one friend is watching, he's probably laughing right now because I screw stuff up all the time. Literally, like, I like working on guns so much that really I don't even pay attention when I'm working on them, because I just enjoy the experience so much, if that's not weird. So it's funny because I'll be working on a gun and then I'll just forget like everything, and I'll start putting parts in like the wrong spots and stuff, and it's just hilarious. So you just want to make sure they're not over tight. The way you check is you make sure the action doesn't move up or down, and then you're good. So then I normally just put everything back on. I mean, it's not rocket science here. I don't have my flathead screwdriver right now, so I'm just going to tighten this down by hand. You can always tighten it more the day of, whenever you finish. Put on the pop-up adjustments thumb screw. Get it nice and good in there, and then put the mag in. And I'll let you guys see what it looks like. Bipod on. Oh, make sure if you are going to do the mod I described earlier, that you do put this tether back on. I think this is going to be really important, because it's going to hold the barrel firm. Just make sure it's pretty tight, and then you just cinch it down with Velcro. Then putting the bipod on. For some reason that's stuck. Oh, I was screwing it in. Well, it's official, I'm an idiot, guys, but just say that on camera right now. Anyway, so there's the gun. In case you guys didn't get a good look at it, I'll just take this off the mount so you can get a good look at it. So, like I said, I'm doing the video outside and it's like really windy and cold, so try and wrap this up. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys found this helpful. I will be fielding this gun pretty soon. There won't be any gameplay footage of it because when I snipe I'm not going to have a camera mounted to that. There's just no point. But I will do another video, another shooting test, that's for sure, on a day that isn't that freaking windy. But it's always windy here, so when I find a good day for a video, I definitely will do one. Again, it'll be at 70 yards, and hopefully there'll be a suppressor on there, and it will be really accurate. So this has been Silenceddeath from Airsoft Team OSMD, guys, and have a good day.